Abraham, see now, Lord has restrained me from bearing children. Please go into my maid. Perhaps I shall obtain children by her. And Abraham, he divorced of Sarah. Let me pause here. Here we understand that Sarah could not bear Abraham any children. They had a maidservant by the name of Hagar. She said, since I am restrained, Abraham, and I can't have you any children, take this maidservant Hagar, go into her and arrive. What they're doing now, this was actually demonstrated here in Genesis chapter 16. What is a second mother, you may say? There are some women that because of the condition of their womb or the condition of their physical body cannot bear children. Amen. So first of all, I want to give honor to the mothers that are in here. I thank God for every last one of you. Yes, okay? So therefore, Sarah was in a conditioned state that she could not bear any children. Are you with me? Stay with me now. Stay with me. The Bible says, and I'm gonna pick up a verse number 3. The Bible says, then Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and gave her to her to be his wife, after Abraham had dealt 10 years in the land of Canaan. Then it says, so he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she had saw that she had conceived, her mistress became despised in her eyes. So here we see the issue is beginning to be developed. Hagar, if you think back of the text that we just read over in Genesis chapter 21, Sarah put this woman out and her son. Why did Sarah put this woman Sarah's son Isaac? Okay, stay with me, church. Understand this. The situation about her son, the situation was dealing with Sarah's issue of not being able to conceive. Amen. And because she took a woman that wasn't even this man's wife, gave her to her husband, and she conceived a son. Now watch this. Stay with me now. Paint the picture. Now paint the picture. Verse 5 says, and then Sarah to Abraham, my wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace, and when you saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between you and me. Now watch this. So Abraham said to Sarah, indeed, your maid is in your hand. Do to her as you please. And when Sarah dealt harshly with her, dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. Okay. Sarah maid conceived Abraham a son. Keep in mind, Sarah is the one that gave Abraham her maidservant. Why is it that we have an attitude and intent for it to happen? In other words, Sarah created her own issues. My question is to you is, how many issues have you created and now you got an attitude because now you're dealing with a decision that you made based upon the intent of selfish gain, not fulfilling the will of God? Amen. The reason why some of us are suffering and going through life journey is because we made some decisions in our lives with the intent of selfish gain. I thought being with him was going to make me happy. I thought leading a church until I got myself together, I was going to be all right. I thought letting my children just do what they want to do and let life teach them a lesson, everything was going to be okay. That's not okay. You created your own issues. Stay with the story. I'm painting the picture. I need you all to see it. Stay with the story. It's going to bless you if you get it. Now watch this. Verse 7. Found her by the spring of water in the wilderness by the spring. Talking about Hagar. Where you come fleeing. I am fleeing. I am fleeing from Satan. Why does this sound familiar? Jonah fleeing from the Lord. Amen. Watch this. Your issues will drive you crazy. Amen. To the point where you will begin to run away from everything. And that's why every time problems and trouble come, you always want to throw in the towel. You always want to quit. You always want to give up because you have no sense of fight in you, because every time something comes up against you, you always running from it. Sarah fled. Hagar fled from Sarah because how Sarah was treating her. How many folks won't even be around you long because of how you treat them? All right, let's go on, be spiritual. How many folks have left the church because of how the church has treated them? How many Christians are missing this afternoon because how another member treated them? Watch this. Sarah got an attitude because God gave Hagar something he didn't give her, not yet. Some of us are so impatient that we'll run out and do something just to fulfill a void in our lives and get ourselves caught up in something and dealing with something, and now it has created issues on in my life. You still are dealing with the same issue. This issue that Sarah had wasn't with Hagar, it was with herself. She's the one that couldn't bury the children. But because she didn't know how to deal with it, she made a decision, got somebody involved that should have been involved, had a child, and now she's upset about it. You created this mess. Right. Now you're going to have to deal with it. Amen. Watch this. God told Hagar, I'm in verse 10. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants and exceedingly, so that they shall not count for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, behold, you are with child, and you shall bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. Watch this. Genesis chapter 18. Come with me. Genesis chapter 18. Beginning at verse 13. Genesis 18:13 says, and the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I surely bear a child since I am old? Is it anything too hard from the Lord? And at this appointed time I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. But Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, no, but you did laugh. Watch this. The same issue that her husband had, it grew inside Sarah. Go to Genesis chapter 12. Stay with me, church. I'm painting a picture. We're going to get somewhere. Stay with me. Genesis chapter 12. Genesis chapter 12. Verse 11. It says, and it came to pass when he was close to entering Egypt, this is Abraham and his family getting ready to go into Egypt, and he said to Sarah, his wife, indeed, I know that you are a woman of beauty of countenance. Therefore, it will happen when the Egyptians see you that they will say, this is your wife, and will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say you are my sister, that it may be well with me for my sake, and that I may live because of you. When you look at Genesis chapter 12, when Abraham lied, you look at Genesis chapter 18, when Sarah lied. What are you saying, preacher? The same issues, when folks have issues together, your issue is going to tend to begin to grow inside of me, and my issue is going to grow inside of you. In other words, we both got issues that we're dealing with, but Sarah didn't even realize that she was dealing with Abraham issues because she sat there and lied to her. He couldn't get mad. Our issues would drive us to be exactly what our issues are. Amen. And we can't deal with it. Stay with me, church. Stay with me. Come with me to Genesis chapter 21. I'm painting a picture because I want you to understand the setting of how we came to this particular story. Now we're going to deal with it's not over because it's over. Okay? First of all, we got to identify the fact that we got some issues. Sarah created her issue in Genesis, and when we looked at Genesis chapter 18 and Genesis chapter 16. But let's look at Genesis 21, beginning at verse 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian woman, and said, had born to Abraham. Abraham's son was mocking Hagar's son. I'm sorry, Abraham's son that he had with Hagar was mocking Sarah's son, Isaac. Sarah got mad and said, cast out the bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman should not be heir with my son named Isaac. And the matter was so very displeasing to Abraham's sight because his son. But God said to Abraham, do not let it be displeasing to you because of the lad, because of this bondwoman. Whatever Sarah say for you to do, you listen to her voice. Let me drop this on the husbands. Do what your wife tells you to do the first time. Do what your wife tells you to do the first time. Because when you do what your wife tells you to do, you're fulfilling God's purpose and his will. The first time. The scripture says, whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice. For in Isaac your seed shall be called. Yet I will also make a nation of your son because of the bondwoman, because of your seed. So Abraham rose up there early in the next morning and took bread and skin of water and putting it on her shoulder. Okay, let me drop this on. Sarah told Abraham to get rid of the bondwoman. Stay with me. Watch this. Abraham got up the next morning, gave water and a little food to this woman. Here we identify the first sign of child support. I'm getting ready to preach this thing. Go ahead, preach. Here we identify the first sign of child support. Yes, sir. I don't believe DHS was involved. No. I think Abraham just did what God commanded for him to do. That's right. See, let me drop this on my single mothers. Don't you worry about how little, how much you get from a man that's supposed to be taking care of his responsibility. Amen. Just know whatever you get, just count it as a blessing. Amen. Because God still has a purpose for your child. Amen. Even though that man neglects his responsibility. Amen. Brother, what are you saying? Stay with me, church. Stay. I'm going to bless you if you stay with me. The Bible says, and I'm in verse 14. So Abraham rose up the next morning, took bread and skimmed water and put it on her shoulder. And he gave it to her and the boy, and he sent her away. Then she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Bathsheba. Watch this. Some of us have gotten involved in situations the other man or the other woman. I'm sorry, if y'all won't speak to me after today, that's all right. Come on, that's all right. Come on with it. Because of the issues, it caused this woman who shouldn't have been involved no way. In other words, if you're involved in some relationships you shouldn't be involved in, I encourage you to get out of it. Because not only you going to stay with me, Sarah's issues drove her mad to the point where she didn't know how to identify her issues in the beginning. Therefore, she thought by resolving them, she would let her husband be with another woman. How many issues have you dealt with in your life and dealing with relationships with loved ones to where you've been involved in relationships that's been based upon issues? I know it sounds like I'm lecturing this afternoon, but I'm trying to really get you to understand something. Stay with me. See, Hagar was embedded in a situation she didn't have no business being entangled with anyway. But because Sarah, she obeyed God she found herself in this situation, meaning God had to separate Hagar from Sarah. Because, see, God is not the author of confusion.
Amen.
Anytime you have confusion in your life, you get away from that crazy joker.
Amen.
Anytime you have some problems in your life, you get away from her, because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to both suffer from the issue. Verse 15 says, watch this. Then she went and sat down across from him a distance of about a bow shot. For she said to herself, let me not see the death of my boy. Here Hagar had been banished from the house of Sarah and Abraham. She took her son, set him over here. She stayed over here. A bow shot is typically anywhere from 150 feet to about 200 and 300 feet, okay? Meaning that she was distanced from her child. Why was Hagar distanced from her child? Hagar could not deal with the dysfunctional relationship with a man. And see, when women or even a man go through a dysfunctional relationship, what happens is it causes emotional trauma to where they find themselves being distant from their children. That's why you got so many parents that's hoping the child go on outside and play and stay gone all day. And when you call them, you don't know where your child is, because you over here distant, dealing with the emotional trauma of a relationship that you shouldn't have been involved in anyhow. And what happens is you can't love a child from a distance. You can't help them from a distance. You can't hold them from a distance, because your issue has separated you from your child. Hagar's issue with Abraham are separated from their parents today because of an issue.
Amen.
The Bible says she said,